Hi, how are you guys doing today? I just want to do a YouTube video on if a home business is right for you, whether it be photography or network marketing type of business. There are some questions you should ask yourself and some checklist items if you do decide it is for you that you should go through and review. So is a home business right for you? Do you have a spot in your house, or do you have a local coffee shop that you can call your office? Even if it's just cleaning off a dining room table, setting up outside on your patio furniture. Do you have a high-speed internet connection? Can you get a high-speed internet connection? Do you have a cell phone? Just basic little items like that. Having an office or a spot in your house or your apartment that you can call an office is great, because then you can sit there and you can be focused and you don't have to see everything around you. Are you focused and motivated? If you're going to sit there and worry about your dishes the whole time that you're working at home, it might be tough. It might just have to be something you work towards, not worrying so much about them. If you're not motivated, well, you can kind of figure that one out on your own. You're not going to probably do very well. Is there a mentor you have? Do you have a friend photographer or somebody in your upline if you're doing a network marketing type of thing that you can talk to, that you can run ideas by, that you can see what worked for them, what didn't work for them, any type of guidance? Even if it's YouTube videos. I use YouTube videos quite a bit from my upline and from others that have been more than helpful. So how are you going to measure your success? Well, normally it's monetarily. That's why you're in business. Just make sure that you're versed in accounting if you plan on doing this and making enough where it's going to matter. If you're not and you don't care to be, hire an accountant. They can help you out with your expenses, tell you what you can have for expenses. Can you take part of your house and write that off, that square footage of your home office, cell phone bills, mileage, anything like that. Even though you do hire an accountant, you still want to know some accounting basics. You just can't rely on that person to do everything right. You want to know how to read your statements. You want to know how your taxes are going to be filed. You need to know some basics, even if you do hire an accountant. That's just something that you should, as a business owner, understand. Do you have what it takes to be your own boss? There's not going to be anybody handing you assignments on a daily basis or projects on a monthly basis like maybe you are right now in your current job. You're on your own. You have to find your own leads. You have to make sure that you're motivated to find those leads. You need to be organized. If you're not organized, you can probably get through it. If you are organized, and like myself, I'm pretty organized. I like my schedules. I like to know what's going to happen from day to day. I like to have everything prepared. So being organized is a great trait if you want to do your own home business. It's not a necessity by any stretch of the imagination, but it would be good, because you can't just sit around and wait for people to call you, even no matter what type of business you're in. You're going to have to go out there and find your clients and your customers and just have that organizational skills as to what you're going to be doing from a day-to-day basis. Am I going to talk to 20 people today? Am I going to work on a website today? Am I going to do YouTube videos today? You need to kind of know where you're going. And there are tons of advantages for having your own home business. If you start a traditional brick and mortar business, the expense is insane. You have to have your rent, and you haven't even opened yet. So you got to get your rent and your signage and whatever else you need before you can even open your doors and make a dime. So saving with a home business is great. There are tax deductions for home business. I kind of touched on that already. So check with your accountant, or if you're your own accountant. Find out if you can expense part of your cell phone bills, your mileage whenever you drive to every meeting, your internet connection, your square footage at your home, that's your home office. Well, the reason why I want to be in a home business is because I want flexibility. I have 2 little girls, and working 8 to 5, it's good. My job is flexible, but I don't have the flexibility that I always need because I still have a boss. I'm not my own boss where I can go, okay, I got to take the girls to the doctor today. Oh, somebody's sick. So flexibility is great if you want your own home business. It's convenient. I like my hoodies. I like to sit around, be comfortable. I don't care to wear heels every day. I don't want to get dressed up every day. I'd love to stay at home and work in a hoodie forever. That's just me. Some people like to get dressed up. I like to be comfortable. So I can make my own schedule. I can decide I'm going to take off this afternoon because I already did everything that I wanted to do, and play with my daughters. I can work when they're in sleep. Convenience is big, especially if you have children and small ones like I do. You have to have a passion for your home business. If you don't like what you're selling, then you're probably not going to do very well, because your passion it's contagious. When you love what you're doing, people are excited about it. If you hate taking pictures and you want to be a photographer, why are you going to be a photographer? So make sure if you do choose a home business that it is something that you love. And the greater the accomplishments when you do hit your milestones, because you should have milestones, is unbelievable. It's not like you're just turning into a report and you hit that deadline for your boss or for someone else in your organization at your 9-to-5 job. I'm a 1K earner. I have so many people now in my downline. That's what I was planning on doing in 3 months, or whatever your goals are. Once you hit those goals that you have set for yourself, it's awesome. It really is. Well, there are disadvantages. There's disadvantages to everything. You can get isolated. You're not going to have the break room or the water cooler or anything like that where you can go talk to somebody. I can't just get up here and go to somebody's desk and talk to them for a little bit because I'm frustrated or whatever. So isolation, it happens. Even though you are networking, trying to find your new customers, you can get kind of lonely. Home business is hard work, especially if you're not doing it full time to start with and you're trying to launch one well, for me, example, I work full time. I have 2 little girls. I'm a single mom half the time because of my husband's work schedule. It's a lot of hard work, and my poor husband kind of gets the brunt of it, because once he gets home from work and the girls are in bed, I'm like, okay, I'm working. So it's not easy by any stretch of the imagination. There's nobody to check your work. There's details that you need to do, especially like if you're going to do your own accounting, or let's say you're a photographer or you crochet. You want to have all that stuff done right the first time. If it's not done right the first time, you're going to be doing rework, and rework is not good. It's a waste of time. So you need to make sure that you're detail oriented enough to do things right the first time. Otherwise, you're just causing a lot more work and a lot more headaches for yourself. You do have to find your own customers, and without customers, you're not going to have a business. So you have to have that motivation to find them and do that daily. Take a day off. I'm not saying you have to work every single day, but you need to have that motivation to find them. Even if you're sitting in a coffee shop and somebody says they hate their job. Oh, well, why is that? What interests you? Well, I have X, Y, and Z. But is that something that might interest you? So you have to be alert as to when you might have a potential customer sitting right next to you on an airplane. For someone like myself that does network marketing, sometimes people don't believe it's a real career. It might not apply for your business. I know it applies for mine. People ask if I'm part of a Ponzi scheme and different things like that. Well, they're not. I'm not going to pitch anything to them, obviously. Friends and family, they might disassociate with you for a little while right after you launch because they're afraid all you're going to want to do is talk to them about sales. Yeah, sorry. I'm apologizing to any of those people right now. So there might be an unprofessional perception about your business, and you get through it. You can't sit there and dwell on it. So how do you get your business started? Well, you kind of need a business plan. And this kind of goes back to organization and your office and all that other type of stuff. You just don't jump into a home business without a plan. You need to know, even sometimes you might need to take a small investment out. So you need to know what money you need. Are you going to set aside hours every day? What are your goals? What are your weekly goals, your quarterly goals, your yearly goals? Do you have a 5-year plan? Donald Trump didn't start his empire by not having goals and winging it daily. He knows what he's doing, probably to the minute, I guess. I don't know personally, but I'm sure he knows exactly what he's doing day to day, probably hour to hour. So you have to have some type of plan. What kind of business are you? Are you a sole proprietorship? Are you an LLC? Are you a partnership? You might not be any of them. Talk to somebody who knows. Talk to an attorney. Talk to your accountant. If you're your accountant, maybe you can figure that out on your own. I personally would go somewhere else and find that out. But what kind of business are you? Do you need to register your business? Do you need to get a tax ID, or is your social security number enough? You know these things. You got to find out. And then we're back to taxes again. So here goes the accounting spiel. You need to know what expenses you can claim. And this goes back to your accountant. If you need to take accounting 101 at your local college, do it. Just so you can figure out the basics. You got to know the basics of where your money's going. That's why you're in business. You have to know. So even if it's an online course, if it's just picking up an accounting book somewhere, accounting for dummies, I don't know. I majored in accounting, so I got that down. But I do think it's very important that you do know some accounting, even if it's just simple transactions and how to read a balance sheet and stuff like that, which might not apply to you. But if you're hiring an accountant, you want to know what that person's doing for you. Do you need insurance, health insurance, 401k? If you're completely out there on your own and you don't have an employer, do you have a savings plan? Is your business now your savings plan with residual income? Is there health insurance? How much does health insurance cost for you and your family? Those are, some people don't think of that. I have to, and I'm just kind of anal about stuff like that. So you want to really check that out, because insurance can be expensive. So then that's kind of a downer there, but what are some tips for success? Keep your accounts separate. If you have a personal account and a business account, keep them separate. Don't have any spillage into either one unless you're paying yourself. But don't use your personal account for all of your business transactions. Get a separate credit card, whatever you need to do. Open up a new checking account with your bank to keep that separate, because you don't want your daily spending to come out of your business without you knowing it. Set up hours. I keep going back to photography because there's a lot of people that tend to do that now. If you're a photographer, are you going to take phone calls till 11 o'clock at night? Probably not. Are you going to take them till 7 o'clock at night? Probably. So set up hours. I know I have hours. I have every other weekend. I have a girl come over and she babysits my girls upstairs while I sit in the basement and work. Those or 3 hours I know I'm going to get every other week, besides the hour or two that I do get every night after my girls go to sleep. So what are your hours? You got to market your business. That's a no-brainer. If you're not marketing, if you're not networking, you're not going to go anywhere. And try to keep your spending at a minimum. You're just starting. You don't need all the signage on your vehicles. Invest in some business cards. You can get those cheap enough. You don't need 1,000 business cards to begin with. You're not going to use them that often, but it's nice to have if you run into somebody. Don't buy tons of inventory, because it's nice to have, but if they can order off your website, then have them order there. I have inventory just in case somebody wants some right now and they don't want to wait for it to be shipped. So I have it. But I don't have boxes and boxes of inventory laying around. Assemble a team. Get your accountant underhand. If you need insurance, talk to your insurance broker. It's your support system, either your upline or a friend, or you need to talk to somebody. And that is basically my guide on, are you even ready for a home business, or any of those things that you should be asking yourself before you decide to make that plunge. It's tough doing a home business, but it can be done. There's many successful people out there that do it day to day, don't have a 9-to-5 job, quit their jobs so they can focus on their home business. So that's all I have today, and have a good one. We'll talk to you later.